Hey, Ståle Hansen here. In this video, we're going to talk about the Surface Duo 2 and how it changed my life. And we're also going to talk about the hardware and some scenarios. But how did it change my life, are you thinking? Well, take a look at this. Now I can pay with the phone using NFC. Well, that's not new, you are saying, but for me, it's huge because now I don't need to bring a wallet, I don't need to bring my car keys, everything is in my phone. I have my driver's license, I have my credit card in there, I have my Tesla car keys, and with Android 11, I even got the ability to open both my cars at the same time because I live in Norway. We have 2 Teslas here. It's totally normal. And with the Android 11, I got the latest Tesla app and I can connect to both my cars. So I don't have to context switch when I'm trying to open my car with the phone. And this is a funny story actually, where I was going to my car. I opened my phone because I had to switch car. This was back in the days. And I saw I got some messages. I had some text messages there. I had some notifications from social media. I had some Teams messages. So I started answering those and I actually forgot why I was at the car and I went back in. And it actually took some time for me to remember that I actually were going to the grocery store. Yes, that's a first world problem, but it solves so much for me when I don't have to do the context switching by just opening the car and being able to pay with my phone when shopping. When we unbox this device, you will quickly see that this is an expensive device. The packaging is good, and what surprised me was how robust the phone felt. It's kind of a bit heavier, but it's the glass is thicker and it's thicker on the outside as well. It seems like it got like a glass coating around the whole phone instead of the really thin and flat surface of Surface Duo 1. You see that you have the rounded corners here and it feels like an expensive device, which means that it lives up to its price level, which is steep. I can give you that. What most were worried about were the camera bump on the back. And because it sticks out, and this is what we pay for having a 3-lens phone and looking at taking pictures with this camera, the pictures are better than the Surface Duo 1 by far. And I took some good pictures. I really like the portrait mode, but I'm missing some features. So I'm hoping the app will get more updates with more features. But I'm guessing you're not buying this phone because of the picture quality. So here are some examples of some pictures I took during night, during Christmas, and a selfie portrait. What you also find here is it's super easy, barely an inconvenience to unlock the phone. So now it's off and I just let's make sure it's off. It's so easy to unlock that I'm almost unable to keep it off. So I just press here and it's unlocked. It's crazy. It's super easy. And I really like that feature. So it's not like an extra for the fingerprint. Now it's the power button and it's enough to just touch it to open it. And by touching it, you will be able to see the time and some notifications here in the space between the 2 screens. So I just push the button and it will show it, and when you charge it, it will show how much charge you have. I have used this once. So it's nice to have, but it's not like a main feature, I would say. With Android 11, I didn't see much updates, but it feels more stable. I also compared, because this is everything is better. It's better CPUs, better memory, it's 5G, it has NFC and so on, but ToDo opens just as fast. Maybe it opens faster on games, I'm not sure, but I compared them, and the Office apps, they open just as fast on both devices, but it feels more stable, less buggy, And I think Android 11 does a lot with that. So you have an overcapacity of performance as well as a newer operating system. And the main feature I have seen that you get with Android 11, there are probably a lot more, but as you see here, it's super easy to take a screenshot of an app when you do the app scrolling, because instead of taking screenshots of both screens, you only take screenshot of that app and don't include like the time and everything. So that's very useful, I found. You probably have some questions around the battery, and the battery is great. It lasts a full day with very active usage. And then I'm talking about social media all day, notifications from Teams, chatting with my colleagues, watching some video streams, watching some my own YouTube channel that needs to be watched, you know. So remember to click the notification bell and subscribe, you know, right? And but if I leave it alone, it will last forever, it seems. It can last overnight even. So that is something I really like, because sometimes with my older phones, I picked it up and it was like, oh yeah, I spent all the battery for you, you're welcome. This one does not do that. And I'm seeing the same thing with the Surface Duo 1 as well. So they have maintained that for the Surface Duo 2. I found that the tent mode on the Surface Duo 2 were better. And since it's a more robust device, I'm confident enough to bring it with me to the gym. So here's an example where I use the tent mode while watching a YouTube trainer and taking my kettlebell workout. What I noticed is that when you flip it around, it will always go to the main screen. It didn't do that with the Surface Duo 1. It went like which angle you had it to, it went to a certain screen, but now it goes always to the screen with the camera. So I can be super confident. So you see in the video, I move the YouTube video over, and then I put it in tent mode and I put it on top of my sleeve. Yes, because I use that sleeve. This is my mini disc sleeve from the 90s, and it like, look at this. Take a look at this. It fits like a glove. Look at this. It's beautiful. Because I do want some protection when I'm at the gym, so I can just put it down wherever I want to without being worried where I'm putting it and what's happening around the device. So that just brings me more comfort. And then I also have my gym card glued here with the Cloudway pocket, the credit card pocket as well. Let's talk about some scenarios. Let's start with Microsoft Teams. And Teams performs fantastic on the Surface Duo. And this probably is my main productivity tool. It supports dual screen. And here is an example of me joining a meeting. And I can join either by taking over the meeting because I were already in the meeting, or join the device as an additional device into the meeting as myself, which means I can easily start the camera and show people what's going on in the room. But also you see when I'm stretching Teams over two screens, I will get videos on both screens. Also, when content is being shared, content is being kept on one screen and video on the other screen. If you go into the menu on the Teams Android app, you will see you have lots of choices now. You can start recordings and other stuff, but you can also change the meeting mode. So you can even go into Together mode directly on the Surface Duo. Looks really nice. Where the Teams mobile app needs some work on the Surface Duo though is when you go into chat. I would like to see that the video stays on one screen and chat on the other screen, but that's not how it works. It like minimizes the video and then it goes into chat and it's kind of messy. So that's where Microsoft has some improvement to do. For productivity, I'm sure you're asking this one question. How does it perform with OneNote? Let me show you. It works perfectly with OneNote. Yes, OneNote supports both screens, but where OneNote shines is when you can use whatever Surface Pen you have, because it supports whatever Surface Pen. It doesn't have to be like the trademarked Surface Duo 2 pen. It works just as fine with this. I think this one is 4 years old, had it laying around, and as you see, it works flawlessly. Even the razor works on this. So the scenario I'm showing you now, I'm using groups in order to open YouTube and OneNote on both the screens, and then watching that YouTube video I can take notes on the other screen at the same time. Another scenario I want to show you in that sense is to do together with the streaming. Could be YouTube, it could be a Teams meeting, whatever, right? But then I flip the screen, I do the app in full screen, and then I have a picture-in-picture of the YouTube stream. So I can easily take notes using the full keyboard on one screen and then taking notes. So when do I choose to do and when do I choose OneNote? I choose OneNote when I'm going to take a lot more notes, but I always choose to do when just taking some like one-liners, a few notes, because there were some really good thinking in that video or some quotes I wanted to get down. Then that's where I used to do instead, and then process it later. A couple of other group app scenarios I use is social media. One for LinkedIn, open Twitter on the other screen, and I'm super multitasking using my social media. Hue Lights is another scenario where you can open both the Hue Sync and the Hue app on both screens, and then it feels like this is like a management tablet. And I remember back in my Surface Duo 1 video where I compared this to the tablet they use in Westworld, you know, and it still feels like that when I open and can configure stuff and have some levers here that I can control. It feels really great. And the last scenario I want to share with you is Kindle. And if you are a book reader, you can see that Kindle works well in dual screen. You can switch the pages. It looks really nice, and maybe that's the best showcase of the Surface Duo ever. I want to talk about notifications and digital well-being on the Surface Duo 2 as well, because that's part of the native Android operating system. And digital well-being was coined by Google, and it means that you understand that it's a challenge the time you spend in front of the screen and in front of notifications on your device. So you need to take control of this, and there are tools here that I use every day and every weekend and every vacation to limit the amount of notifications I have. And always, of course, when you get a notification, you should ask yourself 3 things. Why did I get a notification? Was it useful for me? And how can I get the notification at the same time? And digital well-being on Android on the Surface Duo 2 can help you with that. So here you see that I go into digital well-being, and digital well-being can block apps for you for a certain time. So during weekends, I block Outlook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, because I'm off work and I use those tools for professional connections. Notice that I'm not blocking Teams here, and I will show you later why I'm not doing that. You also have bedtime mode. I use bedtime mode every day, every evening, and it turns on at this time, and it just turns on Do Not Disturb, but it automatically turns on Do Not Disturb and turns it off again in the morning. So let's go into Do Not Disturb and see how I configured that, because yes, it's good to be in Do Not Disturb, but you shouldn't miss anything if something terrible happens or someone needs to reach you. So all the starred contacts in my address list, they can call me and send me text messages, and text messages get through, and Facebook messages, because that's how I connect with my family, and also Teams messages gets through Do Not Disturb. And then you say, what? Teams messages? But those, I don't want those in the evening. But you are correct, but that's something we control directly in the Teams app. So let's go into the Teams app. You go into your avatar, you go into the notification area. There you see you have quiet time. You go into quiet time, and I go into quiet time from 5 in the evening till 8:30 in the morning, which means that I won't get any notifications in Teams during that time, but the app is not closed for me. So if I want to go into the app, I can still do that. And you also have quiet days. I use that from Sunday till Saturday till Sunday. So during the weekends and also during a vacation, I have quiet time all day, every day. But this is specifically for Android and Surface Duo 2, not both of them, so specifically for Android really, is that you are able to have important messages break through that quiet time. So this is why I'm not blocking Teams in Do Not Disturb and in Digital Wellbeing, because I need to be reached by my peers. And if they talk to me in Teams and they say that the message is important, I will get a notification on my phone and are able to take action on that. To expand on this scenario, I want to touch on Fitbit as a companion device, because you can use either whatever smartwatch, but Fitbit has like long battery lives. I don't need to think about it. And it has time, right? It shows time. But the advantage of that, I don't need to pick up my phone to look at the time. Yes, you can look at the back here to see the time, but I would rather just have it here, so I don't need to pick up my phone. It could be in a different room even. But one more thing I have here, I have notifications. So I will get the Teams important message as a notification on my Fitbit. I will get the notification of an SMS and if someone is calling me, which means that I can practice, and this is hard, people. I can practice not looking at my phone. And I've been practicing this for 5 years and I'm still struggling. That's how damaged we are. And the Surface Duo 2 has tools to help you work with that, but don't expect that it will change overnight. It takes a long time to remove that habit, to remove that wish for the dopamine rush, to look for notifications. So some key takeaways from the Digital Wellbeing is that always ask yourself those 3 questions about notifications, because you can go in and hide those notifications, and do that all the time. Worst case, you get 250 notifications during 24 hours. That's 250 times the phone is trying to grab your attention. So evaluate your notifications and use Digital Wellbeing and Do Not Disturb in order to limit the notifications. And the goal is to get the correct notifications at the correct time. Before we end this review, we need to talk about gaming, because gaming just became awesome on the Surface Duo 2. I'm not just talking about the Xbox Ultimate, which I will show you in a second. I'm talking about there are now Android games that support the Surface Duo. And Dungeon Hunter is one of them. Asphalt 9 is one of them. I think it's only those 2 that support the dual screen, but it's beautiful. As you see here, then you get the clean game on top, and then you get the controllers at the bottom. There is one hack though you need to be aware of. You should always have the game showing on this screen with the camera bump, and then use the second screen as controller. And the reason for that is that this is the side that gets warm. This other side does not get warm, which means you don't have to burn your fingers when gaming on your device. You have the ventilation and everything going on here, and then you can just hold it here. It's quite beautiful actually, and it works with all games. So let's look at Xbox as well. And there are 150 games that support touch. So you need to look for those games that support touch because they support like having the controller on a different screen. You need to have the subscription, of course, of Xbox Ultimate, and the game loads up. The drawback is that you always need to be online. So that means that you need to be online, but it performs beautifully. It's quite amazing, really. The last scenario I want to show you is normal Android games on the Surface Duo, because that is also a life-changing behavior, because now you can watch YouTube videos at the same time as you are recharging, playing some games. And you can do this both at the same time, and you can even be meta about it and watch a video about the game to get better while you're playing. How cool is that? So you have the YouTube video on top, and then you have a game at the bottom, and it's great to play. So I think that's really great. And you can watch a Netflix video. You can watch whatever you want on the second screen, and have quite a good entertainment going on when gaming with Android games. I want to show you the ultimate phone hack. Are you ready for this? I'm not sure you are ready for this, but I'm going to show you anyway. And that is the lazy neck holder. Yes. So you put it around your neck like this, and it is kind of too small for the phone, but I have made it so it works anyway. And you turn the phone around and use the correct screen, which is this one, and you slide it in here. Make sure it's supported, and this is how I consume Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, YouTube, you name it. This is the way I do it. Have some drinks over here, some chips over here, or I can relax. But the best thing is that you can lay down like this. Are you still seeing me? Just need to check that you can see me. How cool is this? This is a life hack. Lazy neck holder. I can link one in the description below. Those were the scenarios I wanted to go through with you regarding Surface Duo 2. I really love it. It changed my life. I only bring my phone now. It's beautiful. What do you think? How do you like the Surface Duo 2? And do you have any questions about it? Sign off in the comments. Thanks for watching.